dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now.
Ba-da-da, da-da-da.
This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to 24/7 Buf Fandemonium presents the K-Gun Report Season 2, Episode 1. I'm Jarrod. Joining me tonight, we have Scott and Swank.
Yo!
Welcome back. Welcome back, everyone. I see we already got some people having a little bit of comments going on. Mike, welcome back. Scott, welcome back. All you guys, welcome back. We're gonna...
Yeah, man. Tony Benamino. What's
Tony,
up, buddy?
there he is.
Just here, there you go.
So we're going to be taking a lot of, the Fandemonium's questions today. There's a lot to talk about. You know, we've been off for 5 weeks, but football's still been going on. We're excited to get back to talk football with everybody. And oh my gosh, where do we start? Right, guys? First, I'm going to ask, let's go with Scott. What you been doing for the last 5 weeks?
Free agency and 2021 NFL draft information. It's fun to do. I mean, and now that things are starting to heat up a little bit with contract extensions, franchise tag, transition tags and all that stuff. It's a lot of fun to watch and pay attention to. And the big thing is with that $180 million cap space, there's going to be a lot of teams bouncing around, getting rid of players, trying to save some money. So it's going to be a busy time. It's going to be a busy bunch of weeks until the end of the draft.
Yeah, it's awesome. I saw someone today at work that I didn't know was a big Bills fan, but he just came out and started talking football, and he knew a lot more than what I thought. He was like, I get really anxious this time of year talking about football, seeing what Bean's going to do, seeing what the organization's going to do. And it's like, yeah, man, I told him about the show to watch and come in and make comments. We could talk about it all night, but he was excited. So everybody around the area is getting excited. Swank, what have you been doing the last 5 weeks?
Resting. Getting ready for season 2 of the K-Gun Report and hitting this next season of Buffalo Bills football super hard. Working and doing all that crazy good stuff, playing some music. But to be honest, I stepped away from like a lot of the Bill stuff. I didn't realize after doing like a season of this with you guys, like I'm really into the games. But doing this on top of that, I didn't realize, like, man, it's a lot. Like it exhausts you. So stepping away for a couple weeks was really good for me because now I am like back. I'm like done being crazy tense and stressed and like hyped and all those crazy things that it was all the way through the AFC Championship game. And now I'm just excited for like a fresh start and to add on to this crazy team that we're building.
Yeah, it's sweet. We can't wait for this season to start. And like I said, it already has. Just bits and pieces are being finalized and all that good stuff. All right, there you go. Just a reminder, everybody, we still have, I got it in a little plastic baggie here.
That's perfect for podcasting.
I know, right? We got all the lights splintering everywhere. We do have stickers still. 24/7 Buf Fandemonium car stickers. Send us personal message us your address. We'll send them out for free. And we have something new today. Well, we've had them for a while, but it's a giveaway show. And this is what we're giving away.
Nice. The black and white 24/7 BF t-shirt. Awesome.
Scott, how do you get entered into the contest?
You watch the show and you comment.
That's easy. Just do that, and then we'll do a quick little spin the wheel, and then we'll let know everybody who the winner is tomorrow, and then we will send small, large, extra large, 2XL, whatever size you are.
Medium
shirt.
as well.
What's that?
We got mediums left?
Medium? Oh, I didn't know there was medium people left. Small to large. I thought that's all we had.
COVID-19, there is no such thing as a small or medium person anymore.
Right. So, yeah, just leave a comment. We already have lots of comments, so you'll be entered in. Guys, let's get started, okay? The first thing that I noticed this season was the Bills went right out. We're going to make this part quick because it's old news, but we haven't talked about it yet. They had some players signed to the reserve future contract. We have Trey Adams, Nate Becker, Brian Cox, Tanner Gentry, Dane Jackson, Jake Kumaro, you know him, Mike Love, Josh Thomas, Christian Wade, again, Davis Webb, quarterback, Antonio Williams, Scott Skye, and Duke Williams is still in there. Some contract extensions that we had so far is Jordan Denvey, offensive lineman. His contract has been extended. A big name that we were hoping would happen this offseason did. Micah Hyde, 2 years, $19.2 million through 2023. I think Poyer's contract is through 2022, so we'll have those guys for at least 2 more years. And then we got crazy man White over there. I think we have him till 2025. Andre Smith, 2-year deal, and then we just had something awesome. I just think this just holds truth to this organization and where this Buffalo Bills franchise is heading. Mitch Morse he reconstructed his contract, and he's making $2 million less than what he was supposed to, but he is able to earn that back in incentives like making a Pro Bowl or starting all 16 games, whatever they sign the contract.
So he's got to play lights out to get that money, so he'll be playing lights out, hopefully.
So like I said, that's just, I think, the vision of this team and what it's all about is guys are willing to take a little bit away for success. You guys want to talk about what it means to have Micah Hyde back until 2023?
I think it's with the possibility of Milano leaving, I think it's super important to have those safeties. We said it last year, and I was a big proponent for it. I think the Poyer Hyde combo is almost as important as the Milano Edmonds combo, and I think was even more important last year. So I'm super glad that they're keeping him around and keeping the team together, man. The band's back together, man.
Back together, man. Yeah,
I'm excited for it. The 3 out of our 4 defensive backs are tied in. You know, that's awesome, though. So we got them for at least 2 more years, all 3 out of the 4. And we'll get somewhere in the detail about the CB number 2 position. But no, the group is back together. Yeah, it's like the band's back together. So they're going to be there for a while, which is promising. We can think about another position now to worry about.
I saw someone bring up a hashtag, and I looked at it, and I thought it was like the craziest thing in the world. The GOAT. Basketball GOAT. Who is it? NBA.
Jordan.
Michael Jordan.
What's his first name?
Michael.
Jordan, right? What's Hyde's first name?
Micah.
What's well, it's Jordan. Micah Jordan.
Wayne Gretzky.
Right, so you got Micah Jordan.
Micah
Jordan.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yep.
I see what you did there, Dad.
Can't believe I mentioned National Basketball Association. All right, yeah. So there you go. We have a little bit of off season. Fandemonium, if you got any questions you want to talk about, let us know. We'll get right to it. We're not going to talk, Scott. We're not going to talk about the 2031 draft quite yet. I mean,
31. Jeez, we're skipping 10 years.
That's what it says. That's what he wrote in there.
I'm all about it. That'll be like we're starting to think about some of the COVID kids that are coming out of high school this year, and that'll be an interesting draft.
Yeah.
With the masks, their lungs will be super strong because they've had to breathe through the mask this whole time.
So they should be able to play both ways. They don't run out of.
Yeah, it's like a whole field of Deion Sanders.
So guys, since we're in kind of like the free agency time right now, we'll eventually get to drafts and where we think everybody's going to go with that. But I wrote down all the positions today, and we're looking through them. And let's break down the free agency for a little bit. You guys want to do that?
Sure.
All right. So for our punter Borchquez, right? I think he's looking to sign.
Bajorquez.
Yeah, he's a free agent this year, correct?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right, keep him or get rid of him.
Keep him.
Yeah, I think he led the league in net yards per punt this year. So he had a couple misses this past season, but ultimately he was one of the better punters throughout the whole season.
Yeah, I think
he won't cost much money either.
Yeah, and I think technically he was like number 1 for most of the season, but that's because he didn't have to punt a lot, right? And then he had a couple really. I think he basically played a similar game to what he did the previous season, except now he had less opportunities to punt, and the previous season he was like a 50-50 punter. Now with like a smaller sample size and that one that he darted down on the half-yard line, like his average is like completely untouchable for the year, right? Because he had that one great kick and he didn't have to kick a lot.
Right.
And I think he's good. I mean, he does a job. This year was a lot better than the previous year, I think.
Yeah, I agree with you. And for our kicker, babyface Bigfoot Bass.
Big boo, babyface Bass.
I don't know if it's protocol for a team to bring in an extra kicker just in case, but I think we're set there for a little bit. Again, if y'all forgot, Bass was the Buffalo Bills' leading scorer this year and the all-time leading scorer for a season in Buffalo Bills history. Mike, great timing. I was just going to bring up a quarterback situation. We're good. We have Mr. Josh Allen, but the debate's going to come with Barkley, Fromm, and Davis Webb. What are you guys' thoughts on Barkley? Scott, I'll let you lead the way on this one.
Barkley looked solid when he came in, but he came in during garbage time when there was really nothing that he had to do. I know before last season started, Jarrod, you said he would come in and play 3 games and was going to be a difference maker. That never happened. I unfortunately see Barkley having to find another job. It depends on how COVID plays out. If we need to play this whole, we need Fromm or a 4th stringer not hanging out in the quarterback room to be able to be available, then maybe then we'll keep 4 if that's the case. Barkley, I think, is gone. I think Fromm and Davis Webb are going to be fighting for a number 2 spot. And with preseason, I mean, if we finally get to watch preseason games, it'll be a lot of fun for us, but we'll be able to narrow it down to the quarterback situation. But I don't think Barkley's coming back.
Well, part of me wants him to come back because him and Josh Allen have that relationship. But like we all say, it's all part of it's a business, so they got to make the cuts and stuff like that. But if they could keep Barkley, cheap, then I mean he's going to be in the offense for yet another year. I think they should keep him personally. Have Allen, Barkley, have Fromm finally come up, and then have Davis Webb on the practice again to give you that scout quarterback. What do you think, Swank?
I mean, as far as like the heart and the soul and the feels for Barkley, then yeah, I mean, I love him.
Yeah.
I think it's a wasted spot. I think he had one game where he kind of got to show off his arm a little bit in garbage time when they were already beating. Was it the Broncos game or the Jets game, or maybe both? I don't know.
Well, the one Jets game he started 2 years ago, he did pretty well.
Yeah, I know that one. Everybody was like,
yeah.
"Oh man, look at this backup." But this year, yeah, I think he was in 2 games, and he did pretty well, But I don't know, man. My biggest fear is as athletic and like crazy Superman-ish that Josh Allen is. Like he gets hurt, and we got to rely on Barkley. I just don't know if that's feasible really to carry this team on through to get into the postseason. I want to think it is, and this is what Barkley's third season with the Bills.
With the Bills, right?
Yeah. So like, I don't know, man. He obviously knows the playbook. He's got a rapport. Like it almost seems like it would be a shame to let him go when he's got that much of an education with the team. On the other hand, I don't know. I just don't think that he's gonna. If Josh Allen goes down, he's not gonna bring you to the playoffs. Like that's the way I feel about it. You know what I mean? So.
And money-wise, if you want to talk cap space, Jarrod, Davis Webb and Fromm, they're with the Bills this year. Their contract takes them to at least 2021. Fromm a couple years past that, but they would Barkley would demand the same amount of money as those two combined. So you keep 2 quarterbacks on your roster for the price of 1.
Our boy Mike here says he wants to see Fromm play, and he also brings up the point that when Allen had to go out for that play, Barkley got annihilated, which I completely forgot about.
That's not his fault.
I know it's not.
T.J. Watt. Was that T.J. Watt?
Yeah,
Yes.
I think it was. Yeah. That was 100% a Dable screw
Yeah, that's
up.
not fair.
But like,
That wasn't fair.
man, yeah.
But that's why, Mike, I can't wait for the preseason because something we didn't see last year. We'll be able to sit down and we'll be able to discuss every week what we saw, who we should watch, and it'll be a little easier to. With that 4 quarterback situation to decide who the real true number 2 or 3 should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see what Jake Fromm has to bring. We didn't really get to see him, his movements or his athletic ability, depending on how he was kind of the COVID quarterback. But a lot of people, you got to remember, he was sitting back learning the game too. A lot of film in the NFL, a lot of talking with his fellow quarterbacks. So that educational, that knowledgeable, cognitive part of the game is definitely improved in Fromm. Now we just have to see what it looks like, and that would be. I'm excited for him. I'm excited for the whole quarterback situation.
The only thing he's knocked for is his arm strength. He comes from a pro style offense, and he knows this kind of offense. So that wasn't very hard for him. It's the arm strength. So.
And sometimes you don't need that arm strength. I mean, look at Chad Pennington and look at those little sloth balls that some of these quarterbacks in the NFL used to play, and they were very successful. So.
Look at those windy postseason games we were playing in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm just, I'm saying, like, it's just either you can do it or you can't. I think, like, with him coming from the college game that he came from, like, anything 30 yards and shorter, fine. I bet you he could pick them apart and do that. But, like, if you give a secondary the notion that, like, you can't throw a deep ball, like, it's probably going to be way easier to defend him. Yeah, man. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. We'll see what happens. And obviously he's kind of had his little issues with social media and stuff like that too. So it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. I really don't know who's in free agency right now that would make a suitable backup except Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, I know.
There you go.
Gosh, I had this conversation today.
Hey, why not?
Why not?
Why not?
I love it if he come back.
Hey, did you guys see this? Gabriella, I want to give a shout out to her all the way from Mexico, man. Watching,
nice.
tuning into the K Gun Report Season 2, Episode 1.
Boon.
Welcome.
Yeah, welcome.
We got Shane
Yes,
Becker
perfect.
tuning in.
Love it.
Man, this is awesome. Thanks for coming back with us, guys.
Yeah, Randy O'Daniel and Ken O'Daniel say hi. I just want to give them a plug really quick. They run Chocolate Lab Puppies in Benton, KY, Kentucky. I just got a new charcoal lab from them, Willow. She's about 14 weeks old and she's beautiful, and she will make an appearance on the show sometime.
Nice.
Jared, why don't you ever name your animals after Buffalo Bills players? I, mean,
I know, Willow.
fan.
I'm sure there's a Willow somewhere.
Bruce, damn it, Cornelius, get over here.
Well, my black lab's James.
So James Lofton.
Yeah, there you go.
Sweet.
Yep.
you
So
go.
James,
yeah,
huh?
Randy and Ken O'Daniel, thank you. And that's again Chocolate Lab. Oh my gosh, I paused on it. There's a plug for it.
Black Lab.
Chocolate Lab Puppies in Benton, KY, Kentucky.
Black Lab, name McCoy.
Oh, good.
McCoy. Oh, yeah, there you go. You got black lab named Emma. There you go.
There you go.
I also
We love our
have
doggies.
German Shepherd mix, and his name is Convict. So I'm and I like adopted him or whatever. But I'm assuming that they named him after the Cleveland Browns.
Ba-doom-chow.
Burn.
All right.
I love
Yeah.
that
So
sound.
I love the fact that you mentioned Fitzpatrick possibly coming. And why not give him a tryout? That would be awesome.
Yeah, why not?
All right.
He wants one
Quarterbacks,
more
that's it.
season.
Let's go to our receivers. I have that we're good here. Again, we have Diggs, Beasley, Gabriel Davis, who came through pretty big last year. He had pretty good numbers for a rookie. We don't know what's going on with John Brown yet. Isaiah McKenzie, your guy Roberts. What do you got, Scott?
No, I'm saying goodbye to John.
He's
Brown.
waving. Oh, Brown? I thought you were waving goodbye to McKenzie.
Oh yeah, McKenzie.
'Cause
Then
he's
we
a free
have
agent, too.
Isaiah Hodgins too.
Yeah.
We got a pretty good wide receiver core, but what do you guys think of it? Swank, I'll let you lead the way. What do you think, especially with Andre Roberts there?
I think that he'll come back and he'll take less money, or they'll work it out. I think he wants to play for this team. I think that obviously the same narrative is going to be spoke about him this year, where he's getting old and it's a wasted spot and blah blah blah. He was still top 3 in like every category of return game for last season. So I'm going to go ahead and say, for as cheap as he is and the special role that he plays, like, keep him. So him especially. I really like the dynamic of the wide receiver room. I like what's going on. I love Isaiah McKenzie. I like all that specialty stuff. And again, I think it's going to be the same replayed like takes over and over. You're going to hear it everywhere that like Isaiah McKenzie's a dime a dozen. You can find somebody to run the sweeps to, blah blah blah. She gets somebody more overall rounded, blah blah blah. I don't think so. I think he's pretty cheap. He's fast. He's got a good attitude. He works his ass off. Follow him on Instagram. He is working out all the time, and he loves this team. I don't think you can ask for anything more out of your number 4, number 5 wide receiver than what he's giving you. Isaiah Hodgins, that is like a really exciting notion to me, especially with John Brown's status being up in the air. I really think that you can go into this draft and pick like a mid-round wide receiver if you really want to, but I don't really see him going into free agency to get anybody.
Things you can always do in the draft in the late rounds is get corners and wide receivers. They're always there, and they're always. I mean, run the ball, run fast, catch the ball, and turn up the field and run the ball again. The receivers are receivers. I mean, there are some that are great that obviously go in the first and second round, but they're all over the place, and that's why so many are taken so late.
Yeah, good point.
But,
Sorry.
Here's my theory. Here's my issue with I just want to put it in perspective for fans that are worried about cap space and being able to afford either a Darrell Williams, a Milano, or Feliciano, because those are the three big free agents that people want to keep in Buffalo, right? Those are the big. If you get rid of John Brown right now, you can either keep Darrell Williams or Feliciano with that money that you just saved. He's 7.9 will come to the cap, and you can keep one of those. And this is why I say get rid of John Brown. I believe that the Bills' offense was better than with Gabriel Davis in there. I really do. And with Isaiah Hodgins coming in, and I'm going to say this early, I think he's going to be next year's Gabriel Davis. And keep in mind, they do have Isaiah McKenzie. They could sign Andre Roberts for the kickoff return, and that Tanner Gentry now is on that reserve contract, and he played in Wyoming with Josh Allen. And if you take Beasley and Diggs, there's 7-8 wide receivers right there on the roster before even thinking about the draft or even free agency. They've got a good thing, I believe, in Buffalo with their wide receiver core, and I don't think we should waste any free agency money, because I mean, you're going to get somebody for 1 year, $2 million contract, and you don't want to spend the money where you don't want to spend millions of dollars when you can spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on receivers in the draft if you do go that way. So I think we're set.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. Go ahead, sorry.
No, I mean, it brings up a good point, and I really want to get into the O-line, because I think that's like the big
one.
The big one, man. And I know Milano's like, the other part of that, but I also think Milano's gone. Like, you might as well write him off like he's gone.
I found out a way to keep him, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you did. Yeah, I don't want to put the cart before the horse, and I definitely want to go into the O-line depth here, and what we should do with all that. But I think wide receiver wise, man, I just don't. I don't know if we had a big enough sample size with what the offense looked like with a healthy John Brown, a healthy Bees, and a healthy Stephon Diggs. And I really, really wish we would have seen that. I know that there was a couple games here and there, but like either Brown was out a lot, I don't want that to take away from the fact that the year before he helped put this team back on the map and get him into a playoff run. And I think he's phenomenal. And I don't know. I'd really just like to see the three of those guys healthy on the field for a season and see what would happen. But in all fairness, Gabriel Davis balled out. I think for where he got drafted, who he is, how he worked, how he performed in the game, and all the games that they're asked to have him perform in and fill in some big shoes. He outperformed himself, I think, for his rookie season. You know what I mean? If you're comparing it to like a Zay Jones.
Oh, jeez.
You got big high hopes for that guy.
We already bringing him into the conversation, huh?
Yeah.
Next time we talk about that guy ever again.
There's people trying to bring him back to Buffalo. You know that. Right?
I'm with you, Swank. Though I know. I mean, if Bills fans, if we could have just had a sample of what all three of those guys could have done healthy, we would have been a lot more dynamic, obviously. And the reason I'm saying get rid of John Brown, it's the business part of it. It's the money saving. It's the who we got coming up. And, if in a perfect world, I would love to see John Brown come back healthy and see what they can do. But it's not a perfect world, and we got to make some money changes. We got to make some money moves. Yep. And it's tough. It really is.
No doubt. Yo, real quick, I just wanted to say hi to my buddy Josiah, who's turning in, and Dalton Smith, who is also hanging out.
Hey, Dalton, is
Thanks,
that what's up?
Ryan DeSillis and Sarah Elizabeth are with us now, too.
Oh, yeah, and nice. Scott Reed.
Oh, I've been here the whole time, guys.
I think I know Sarah Elizabeth. Hi, Sarah Elizabeth.
Yo, and don't forget, if you're watching with us right now, don't forget to comment. Don't forget to share it around. Tell your friends. We're back. Oh, man, look at that.
That's a nice shirt.
It's like we also have some new shirt ideas that we're going to have everybody vote on right here pretty soon. We're stoked on that. So we're looking to have a good season.
Yes, we
are.
All
this hype.
Guys, I just want to throw in there too, you guys mentioned McKenzie a little bit. The fact that he did have pretty much a game where he was deemed starter, and if you looked at it on the resume, it was a pretty good game that he had. You did mention free agents and stuff like that. As I mentioned earlier, reserve future contracts. Tanner Gentry, Scott, you mentioned him by Wyoming. But Jake Kumaro, too. You got to remember we have him. And these guys being on the team for a full offseason could be our free agents that we can ignore during this offseason here. All right. So we could hit up running backs, but I feel like that's going to take us a long time. So we'll wait till next week to hit up the running backs.
Oh, I really want to talk running backs.
Yeah, let's just stay on the offense then this week. You know what I mean? We'll
keep it on offense. We'll get to running
backs, tight ends, offensive line.
All right, let's go. You want to do running backs then?
Sure.
This is a good one because I know we have different opinions on this. With running backs, I think we're good. Maybe there's somebody in free agency, but we have Singletary, Moss, Freeman, Yeldon, Wade, Christian Wade. You guys remember him?
I think my feed's screwed up. Did you just say that you think we're good at running back, and then you just like skirted over it, and you're like, yeah, this is who we have, and hey, I think I'm gonna have lima beans for dinner tonight. Anyway, hey, nice show. See you guys later.
Anyways, let's go to linemen.
No, I personally think I think the offensive line. You touched on it earlier, Swank. You want to get on the offensive line because I think that's going to be huge part of the success of the run. I think the run game. I think we're good with Singletary, Moss, and Devontae Freeman, personally, and Antonio Williams. I'm going to let you two go at it because I know you guys got Scott. Let's have you lead the way. You're the one anxious about this running back committee.
All right.
Go.
All right. So I think in the beginning of the season, this season, that the Moss, the Singletary, I can't see the Buffalo Bills getting rid of those guys. They are very similar. Moss is a little heavier. He can run a little harder. I put out a post earlier this year. Is it the play calls? Is it the linemen? Or is it the running backs? And I'll be quick so Swank can add his 2 cents in.
Oh, take your time, buddy.
4.2 yards a carry for a running back is not bad.
No, it's great.
And I think where Bills fans are struggling is the big play factor. A big play factor in the NFL is a 15-yard gain or more. The Bills running the ball only had 10 of those all season. And Allen had 2 of those, which means running backs only had 8 big plays this season. That's 1 every 2 games. And like I said, 4.2 yards a rush is really, really good. But the fact that they can't get past that second layer of defense is the problem. So when I can't blame the offensive line because they are getting that 4.2 yards. The offensive line's got to be doing something right. I want to blame the running back. Singletary and Moss are doing fine. They're doing all right. They just don't have the breakaway speed. I think they brought Moss in to take care of the interior part, and then they thought Singletary would be taking care of the perimeter with screen passes. I mean, his receptions went up to 38 from 20 the year before, but he doesn't have that breakaway speed. And I think that's what the Buffalo Bills need to address. Free agency, the only speed guy I see is Matt Breida.
Yeah,
He's the only speed guy I see. Anybody else that you bring in, I don't think makes the team better. And they're going to cost a lot more. They're going to cost $4 or $5 million. I think you have to address the speed factor in the NFL draft 2021. Rondell Moore, keep that in mind. 3rd round, Buffalo Bills. Go ahead, Swank. Speed. We need speed. That's the one thing that all our running backs have in common is they're not. None of them are fast.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly my point. 100%. I made it last year, Scott. They're all slow. But at least Moss is big, and he's a bruiser. So I agree with you. I think that pretty much everything you said I agree with. But I also think that Singletary can get cut. And I'm going to go ahead and say that he will get cut.
Oh, damn.
And not because I love Motor, but I just don't think with everybody else that they have competing right now, he's already shown what he can do. And all that screen pass stuff would have meant a lot more if they actually used that part of the game more this year. And he just doesn't have a lot of it on tape. He had a couple, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not complaining yet about the run game so much as to say that, like, oh, God, we have to have, like, 1,000-yard rusher and then, like, another 800-yard rusher. I'm saying that, like, we're a pass-first team, and that's great. Mm-hmm. And you got that bruiser in Moss for short yardage and maybe a little more. Yeah, you need that speed guy, but I think that he can be a hybrid type. Like, I'd like to see more, and I know they're not a dime a dozen, but, like, you got, like, a Kamara type, right, where he can do anything. If you had somebody like the guy from Green Bay, right, where they used him everywhere in the backfield, and then he'd split out as a wide receiver too.
Montgomery, right?
Right? A guy like that who could do multiple things, take passes out of the backfield, and also be a speedster, right? Ideally, what I want is Isaiah McKenzie to turn into a running back. That's all. That's all I want.
Okay, I knew that's where you're going.
So Swank, what do you think Bills? Do you think Bills will cut? Because if they cut Singletary, we only gain $500,000. $500,000, right?
Yeah.
Are they going to cut him or trade him for like a 5th or 6th round? We have a 1st, a 2nd, a 3rd, 2 5ths, a 6th, and a 7th. We don't have a 4th round this year. Do you think the Bills can trade him away for a pick?
No, I don't think you're going to get anything for him. You know,
running backs can be found.
I think that, like, as much as he can be traded or cut, what I really think they're trying to do is do a running back by committee, like the Patriots have been doing. Right. The successful Patriots.
They're doing very well with it, yeah.
Yeah. You know, a couple of years ago, eons ago, when they were actually doing really well. And in that kind of respect, I mean, none of these, it's so early, none of my points are all going to come together. So when you're watching this later, everybody just watch this section and then don't watch the next section. Because I'm going to say, like, when we get into the offensive line, like,
it's the off-season, Swank. You're allowed to be off a little bit.
Yeah, man, it's fine. I'm not off. I just don't know what I want. You know, like, because I'll tell you what I do want. Like, I want both Feliciano and Williams. I want them both. And I think it's dumb not to have them both because, again, like the Patriots in the dynasty years, like, what's the one thing that stayed consistent? You know,
that
line. Like, you had a great quarterback and you made sure that line was solid. And these guys are just, like, getting better and better and better and better. And Williams was, like, a perfect pickup. Feliciano is a monster. Like, you know. But anyway, when you're supporting that and then saying the running back room has a problem, which they do, and then not wanting to get rid of anybody, it doesn't work, right?
Yeah.
So, like, something's got to give. Right. Or you got to change up the play calls and make it a little less predictable. I don't know. So, I mean, monetarily, keeping Motor makes sense. For game plan wise, I think getting rid of him and trying somebody else makes sense.
Yeah.
Right. And real quick, Jared, as far as the monetary thing, Singletary and Moss are on rookie contracts, so they're not even making $1 million yet. To sign one of the free agents, my top 5 free agents: Aaron Jones, Chris Carson, Kenyon Drake, James Conner, Matt Breida. $3 million, $6 million, $7 million, $9 million, $11 million. Are you willing to spend that much money on free agency running back?
If they're established running back that can get the ball up the field.
Well,
yeah,
you can get one in a draft, and you will now have 3 running backs for the next couple of years for each under $1 million a year.
How about that fancy running back down in Carolina, McCaffrey?
Oh, geez, he'll break the bank, Jared. We gotta get.
But what if we throw a single Swank check and see if I'm okay?
Yeah,
There's
dude.
no way.
How about,
that's fun to talk
how
about.
About Barry Sanders?
How about Aaron Donald?
He could do anything, right?
I know. I just throw it out there because someone mentioned it today.
Nah.
Josh Cook's wondering how many fumbles our running backs had last year. I just looked it up. Moss didn't have any. This is from Pro Football Reference. Did he
Moss
have
had one? Yeah,
Did he lose it?
Yeah. Remember at the goal line? He lost that fumble at the goal line against Kansas City. Was it Kansas City? Remember?
Was it?
It was back in our goal line, and he fumbled the ball, gave it up.
The first Kansas City game?
Tennessee Titans, never mind. It was
I was going to say.
Oh, yeah. All right, because it said, it must be wrong, but the Pro Reference also said that Singletary had, last year he had 4 fumbles, and this year Singletary only had 1. But yeah, I don't know why it only said Moss didn't have any.
He had that big one against Tennessee. We all want to forget that Tennessee game, so.
Yeah, I don't even remember that game.
What happened?
What happened in that Tennessee game? So I don't know. I'm on the. You can always get a running back in the draft. We need a speed guy. And this Rondell Moore from Purdue, he runs a 4.2, 4.3 40. So I think that'd be perfect. He's a Tyreek Hill style, but Swank's got Isaiah McKenzie. He could also play that role. So
the thing with drafting a running back, the only thing that I'm worried about is that now you've drafted one each year the last 3 years, and you haven't had any production.
Right.
So maybe you find that guy, but if you're not willing to spend a really high draft pick on somebody, I mean, it's hard. It gets hard, you know, and I don't want to spend. I can think of at least 4 other position groups that I'd rather spend a draft pick on than running back right now, because, as I said last season, it doesn't bother me that their run game is just like average. Yeah, exactly.
We're passing. Why are we going to find a big running back when we're passing the ball?
Yep.
So.
I get you. Also, if I don't know if you guys know how the builds are, but McKenzie, he's a smaller guy. Montgomery is a pretty stocky guy. He's a receiver, but he's got the build for running back. So
yeah, Mike Voigt, he said, but Montgomery was a wide receiver. I know he was a wide receiver. I was just kind of illustrating that point that, like, you know, you could do like a hybrid kind of guy like that.
He did play in the backfield quite a bit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The same kind of thing with like James White kind of deal. I know he runs the ball a lot more than what I'm talking about, but I just there just wasn't a lot of dynamic in the run game this year at all. So
We need that big play.
Yeah.
That big play. 15 yards or more. Only 1 every 2 games. That's not good for running.
No.
Yeah. It sets up more plays too.
Well, one of them was a garbage time with motor for that big touchdown in Denver.
Yes,
yeah.
Denver.
Yeah.
So
That's right. You're right. And like I was just referring to, those long plays, those 15-yard plays, if you have a fast running back and the defense knows someone's quick coming out of that backfield, that's going to change the whole pursuit. That's going to change how people attack, take their steps back, take their steps up. So if you know someone doesn't have that breakaway speed, you can kind of squeeze down on them quicker instead of trying to give them an angle, which can change ultimately how the offense moves the ball down the field. I'm looking at your live feed right now, Swank, and it's when you're looking at the thing, your eyes come right up. All right, you guys want to talk about our tight end position?
yes, I do.
All right, Knox all the way, right?
Knox.
All right, we have Knox coming into year 3, I believe.
Maybe.
We have Gilliam, right? Lee Smith. I don't even know if Lee Smith is on there anymore. Becker and Sweeney and Croft. Is anybody else I'm missing?
I don't think so.
Is Croft on the roster?
I saw him on the active roster. Not active, but he was on
He's a free agent, I think.
yeah. So he was on the roster before. Okay.
So I think Lee Smith's talking about retirement. I think he's done.
Yeah, he's done.
Croft is probably gone.
We gained $2.25 million on Lee Smith, just so you know. Go ahead.
Sweet. Did he officially retire yet?
Not yet, but if he's gone, he's got nothing guaranteed on his contract. We gained 2.25 on the cap.
Yeah, I think that would be a solid move.
I think it's fun watching him catch touchdowns, though. He's such a goofy guy.
Hey, man, he is. He's a really fun guy.
And that's a guy that Josh Allen absolutely loves.
Oh yeah. I mean, you can't really slight him for anything other than the penalties that he had 2 years ago. But this year, I don't know. Obviously, he played a lot better. I have a problem with him catching so many touchdowns, and with Croft catching so many touchdowns, and with Dawson Knox not catching like at least 7 this year. You know, I feel like he should have been utilized more. He should have been healthy more. You could say the same thing about Croft, I guess, 2 years ago, and even a little bit this year. Sweeney would be really great to get a taste of him. All of this is coming down to where I think we should spend money in free agency, which teaser for
Who you want?
next week. Defensively, it's defensive end and cornerback. But this week, offensively, tight end, free agency, all of them. Get fucking all of them.
Jonnu Smith, Zach Ertz,
Yep. All of them.
Hunter. You want Hunter as
I
well?
want Hunter. I want all of them. Every single one.
They're not giving Hunter the franchise tag, so he's going to be available.
Hunter's going to be $12 million a year. Jonnu Smith's going to be 9.5. Gerald Everett, who's really good and fast, 26 years old, $5 million a year. And Jared Cook is old, is going to demand $5 million a year.
Yeah,
I
don't
like
want
we're missing somebody.
Kyle Rudolph.
Kyle Rudolph.
Yeah, he made a.
And Stephon Diggs might have a role in bringing him in.
He's
That'd
too
be
old.
interesting.
He's too damn old, man.
Guys, what if we put Duke Williams at tight end? I had to say it.
You're lucky, dude. You're lucky it's March, dude. We don't need any running back help. We're gonna put Duke Williams at tight end. How many homers was like Homer
keep them all.
statements, dude.
Might as well bring Pete Metzelaars and Keith McKellar.
Yeah.
Jared,
Mhm.
Swank,
Yeah.
3 preseason games are going to prove that Tommy Sweeney is.
Hold the press.
Edder's here.
Adder's here, dude.
Boom!
What's up, Eater?
What up?
What's up, Lendetta? Welcome, Eder. Welcome to season 2. No, but that we have preseason all the time. We didn't have it this year, but this is the first time we're doing a show, and we might have preseason. I love preseason games because we can tell a lot about a player, and every week we can talk about who to watch and who did good and all that stuff. And I'm telling you, Tommy Sweeney, he hasn't. Poor guy hasn't had a chance to prove himself, and I think, guys, he came from Boston College. He did great there. He's a blocker and a catcher, so I know, but we want something quick, don't we?
I'll write it down. Tommy Sweeney.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I want to see what happens. It sucks that he got hurt and the COVID stuff and all that. It just we need some immediate help. When is the last time we had a really good tight end here? And I don't even think Charles Clay counts. Like, I think he was okay. I think he did a really great job in Miami, and then he played well for us, but he was not what everybody thought he was going to be when he came up here.
I know. The last time we had good tight ends, it was with Keith McKellar, Butch Roll, and Pete Metzelaars.
Butch Roll, touchdown guy. Every catch he had was a touchdown.
So
but
90s.
Well, if
I mean,
you needed some snow removed, you could have used
I
Scott
love
Chandler. in
Chandler.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, I like
Chandler.
but we're talking like a consistent tight end. I mean, I remember Lonnie Johnson, the Kleins. We haven't.
No.
And if the Bills would have just drafted Gronkowski because he loves Buffalo, that would have been something else, huh?
Maybe, dude. Right?
We would not have had a quarterback to throw it to him though during those times, right?
Yeah. I mean, maybe. Maybe you would have ruined him.
All right.
Like, not to be a dick, but like, I don't know. What's up?
Jay Ramirez, he was decent, and Robert Royal. Was
Robert
Royal the
Royal.
one who got
Number 84, yeah. No,
got blindsided? Oh, Everett
Royal
was.
did get blindsided though, yep.
Did he? I don't know.
So Swank, as far as free agents go, if I would like to see someone come in, you say bring everybody in. I'm a fan of Gerald Everett and what he did with the Rams. 26-year-old young, he's fast, he's a big body, he can block, and he would only his market value right now is 3 years, $15 million. So we could afford him maybe. If we got rid of Lee Smith, we could afford half of Everett. So,
What'd you say Juno wanted?
Juno's a 4 year, $38 million. So that's about $9.5 million a year he wanted.
I think that's feasible. I think that's manageable. I think that the way Bean structures contracts, he could probably do that. I think that's not his focus right now. I think if you're going like importance to least, like top 3, I think he should be looking defensive end help right now, like crazy. And then I think I'd put CB2 a little more up there than tight end, but not you. No, that's okay. You don't have to.
We'll talk about that next week.
We will talk about that next week, too.
I wish you guys could agree on everything. Like when I say our positions are good, you guys just jump all over it and say I'm wrong. Scott, I feel like you missed somebody on that tight end.
He didn't miss anybody. No.
How about OJ Howard?
Oh, yeah.
There's rumors that he's interested. So
there's rumors last year too with that, and then especially like with Gronk and all that stuff going down there. I don't know. Did he end up getting hurt?
OJ Howard?
I think so in the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I wish there was just somebody like. Is there anybody in the draft, Scott?
Oh,
there's a big tight end out of Penn State, and he won't be available at pick 30. I don't believe it's Raymouth and there's another one out of
Notre Dame has a big one.
And there's one going in the top 10, I believe. I can't remember his name though, but
we should ask Mike Vienna who he thinks. I think his tight end. He's a big Notre Dame fan. He'd get in here and tell us to get him. I bet.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Cool beans.
Do you guys think Knox will be on the roster?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, we'll have 3 preseason games to decide whether or not he should remain on the roster.
That might be a saving grace, right? The fact that there is 3 preseason games. That's all there is this year, Scott?
It's supposed to be.
Yeah, I think so. Yep.
Okay.
Kyle Pitts is the tight end out of Florida, 6'6", 240 pounds, projected to go in the 4th pick with the Falcons right now.
Jim Graham
said,
yeah, I was just going to say that. Go
Roll
ahead.
Tide. O.J. Howard's a Alabama guy, apparently.
Yep.
Yeah, so like you said, I think the fact that we have preseason 3 games, Knox will get his opportunity to prove if he still belongs on this team. It's funny you guys mentioned 3 preseasons because I think they're trying to figure out a 17-game schedule this year. Nothing's set yet. I don't know if you guys know, but we've seen it everywhere. The way this works is obviously they're going to be playing a team in the NFC. They play second 2 years ago opponent that finished with the same division record as them. So based on the 2020 standings, like number 1 plays number 1. Yeah, the AFC will host the home game for 2021. NFC will do 2022. They'll keep switching every year. So yes, it could be the Washington football team the Washington football team will go another season as the Washington football team because they're not going to decide anything until 2022.
Lazy.
So yeah, instead of they're just going to add a week 18 and push the Super Bowl back 1 week. So it seems pretty easy and straightforward.
Dude, I know we talk game on the football team thing, and I think it is super lazy still, but I kind of like it now. I don't know why. I just do.
Because you have to be careful with what you do now.
Oh,
with
yeah.
Everything.
Ask Mr. Potato Head Man.
Potato Head,
different,
bro.
Sorry.
That's a different podcast.
Yeah,
I know.
We'll stay away from that.
I know. We'll stay away from that kind of
So,
stuff.
well, that's another thing is they don't have to change their logo or anything for a whole year. They can run with it. And eventually, during this offseason, I'd like to get back to Bill Stadium and if they're going to do anything with the naming rights. But we got all offseason. This is going to be fun.
It's a lot
Jared,
of money, man.
Can I walk us into the next topic?
Go ahead.
So, Swank,
Yeah, buddy.
I've seen a lot of Mafia, a lot of Fandemonium, a lot of Bills fans saying the offensive line is the reason why we don't have a run game. The offensive line is the reason why Josh Allen had to run around a lot. And a lot of those same fans are the same ones that saying we got to bring Feliciano back. We got to bring Darrell Williams back. Well, if you do that, you bring back 4 out of the 5 linemen. So what is it? Do we want our line back, or do we want to go in the draft and get someone that can help us out or free agency?
I think so.
I believe Feliciano and Darrell Williams should come back. It's going to be $15 to $16 million combined a year to bring both of them back. But I just wanted to throw out there is that you have everybody saying we need linemen in the draft and free agency, but the same people are saying we want Darrell Williams back and we want 4 out of the 5 linemen back. So tell me what you're thinking about.
I think that I want the continuity. I want a group of people in front of Josh that A, stick up for him and fight for him, and B, keep him clean. Feliciano, Dawkins, all these guys, man. I think that if Morse wouldn't have took that pay cut, I don't know how much of a dick Brandon Beane can be, but I'd be like, dude, we got Feliciano who can play center and he can play guard, and and he did great. So, Mitch Morse is good, but you got a lot of options available to you in that respect. Williams, I think, is a must sign. I think Feliciano and Williams, I think you have to keep them. I think it's dumb not to. I think Brian Winters can take a hike. You can mess around with the backups. You can bring in competition. I think it makes more sense to draft. Ford's back. We'll see what he can do. He's kind of been lackluster too. Which is weird, though, if you talk to coaches and stuff or listen to what coaches are saying. They love him. They love what he's doing, blah, blah. I'd be interested to see, really how far he's come and what he does this year. That'll be the huge thing, right? Can he start and play a whole game and then do that all season? I really want to see that from him.
I like the fact that Feliciano played center because I think that opens up his resume a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Because I know you want continuity and everything with that line, but if they can draft a big guy this year, and it was said that, oh my gosh, who did we just? Oh my gosh, I'm having a brain fart. Morse.
Yeah.
Morse. Okay, so it was, people thought that he was bullied into the contract, but it just came out that he actually approached Coach Bean and said, "I'm going to take a cut just so we can get money moving in a different way." But the fact that Feliciano can go play center now, maybe opens up bringing one guy in to fill his spot, even in the draft to complete that line even better.
Sure.
So I think that's where they might go. Personally, I haven't looked too much into it, but I'm just saying Feliciano's a beast. When he came back, he proved it, and he proved that he could play the more than one spot. And I think having a guy like Feliciano at the center, I don't know how their demeanors are one-on-one if they're looking at each other, Mitch Morse and Feliciano, but from what I've read just on Feliciano's part, he's a competitor, he's a go-getter, he doesn't take any shit because he saw it. He went after the Kansas City game, the guy, right? Yeah. So if he's your center, that's going to bring the rest of your line into that same mentality. So it'll be interesting to see. We love this part of the year, so it's going to be interesting to see what Bean does with that O-line.
Yeah.
I agree.
Wyatt Davis, Ohio State.
Yeah. That's who you like?
If we're going to go guard, if we're going to go lineman, I think if Feliciano takes a center, Wyatt Davis comes in, Ford comes in for guard, and then you got your Dawkins and your Darrell Williams on the tackle side. I think and then we have depth, and then we have a lot of depth still.
If we say bye to Winters, does that open up any cap space, Scott? Numbers guy?
Did Brian Winters just sign a 1-year contract?
Oh, he might have.
He might have. It might have been a prove it. I don't know. For some reason, 2 years sticks out in my head, but don't quote me on that because I'm not that guy.
Okay.
So.
Scott is. Where were you on that one? I'm on it.
I think that's it, right?
Yeah, that's all the offense. I know we kind of ran through it all, but we're having just a little bit of fun with this season 2, episode 1. As the season goes on, we might break stuff down a little bit more, but we just wanted to have a little fun today and get a little taste of 24/7 Buf Fandemonium presents K-Gun Report back in it. Guys, we had an awesome participation today too. Everybody's giving their opinions, and that's what we want. We want everyone to just throw their opinions out there. Everyone's opinion counts and matters, and we're just 3 guys that like to watch football and talk about football, and that's pretty much it. And we're having fun. We're having fun.
It Winters was just a 1-year contract.
Okay. So there's nothing. Perfect.
We're almost in a situation where it is a draft best player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's not a bad situation to be in.
No.
Do you think Bean pulls a little magic and jumps up?
I think he does. We got 2 5th rounds and no 4th rounds, so I think he's going to use those 2 5th rounds to bounce up in the first round, maybe 4 or 5 spots.
Oh.
I think if they're going to go after a defensive end, Carlos Basham, I don't know if you saw any film on him there, Swank, but if you watched him, you'll like him since we're going defensive end next week. Carlos Basham out of Wake Forest, pretty good.
Sweet.
Yeah, I think Bucky Brooks had the Bills getting him in his mock draft too, so he's a very popular guy.
I think you might have to move up to get him though.
Yeah.
Hey, if you left a comment tonight, you're up for one of these.
Hey.
We'll spin the wheel. We'll post it tomorrow on 24/7 Buf Fandemonium, the page, and we'll let the winner know. When you find out who the winner is, personal message us your size, and we'll send it out to you.
Yo, real quick,
Yeah.
man. Mike White says, "Gotta say my Tuesdays were boring these last 5 weeks. Glad you guys are back." We really appreciate that, man, and thanks for hanging out with us this long and hanging through those 5 weeks. We're easing into this season 2 stuff. It's gonna start to get real hot and heavy here, and it'll be good times. And if you're hanging out tonight, like I said, get those comments in because we're about to wrap this up. If you comment, you get entered in for the T-shirt. We're going to have some more giveaways. I think we're going to start buddying up with some people and have some pretty cool stuff. I don't know.
Some merchandise.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk a little bit about kind of what's in the future. We're sounds like we might do a live broadcast from a bar up in Rochester. We're going to have some sweet guests. We really want to spread this. I don't know if you guys saw the hype video or any of that stuff, but we were really excited about this season, and we got a lot of goals. So share the event, share the feed, tell your friends. I mean, we love talking football. We love that you guys comment and get interactive, and thanks for hanging with us through all this.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we got a lot of plans, and we want you guys to be right there with us. So definitely hang in, man.
Yeah, I agree. Big things, fun things, and to break it down, the best thing is to be able to talk about Buffalo Bills football every Tuesday night with you guys and everybody else, and that's the best part. But we have a lot that can go with it too. So can't wait to keep it going.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Scott, you got any closing thoughts?
Go Bills. That's all. It's a first season 2, first episode. So we got free agency to talk, and then I do want to add this in. We have a big draft day, Thursday, April 29th. We will be all getting together, the 3 of us, having a 3 to 4 hour draft party.
Casa de Swank.
At the Casa de Swank. You're going to see us like this, but we're going to have a phone involved. So we have phone calls coming in. And this isn't just for Bills fans. Your team is up. Give us a call. Tell us who you think they're going to pick. We'll have our thoughts about who the other teams are going to pick, but it's going to be a long 3 to 4 hour episode, and it's fun. The draft party is always fun.
Swank, what's up? Closing thoughts? I know you kind of already gave a little bit, but...
Yeah, no, absolutely. Again, thank you guys for hanging. And, if we can do anything better, if there's something you want to see, if there's something you want to talk about, let us know, man. We're all very accessible, and we love the interaction and the feedback. We really are just trying to make this as good as we can make it. And, we love talking with you guys. So just hit us up, either on Facebook or Instagram, Twitter, whatever cuts your fancy. And as always, you can see us every Tuesday night on Facebook Live at 8 p.m. for the K-Gun Report, presented by 24/7 Buf Fandemonium. If you can't reach us live, you can always check it out on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Yeah, that's right, I didn't forget this shit.
Perfect. And like we say it all the time, definitely let us know what you want to talk about. Even personal message us, and we'll get it out there so us 3 can just come on and just start talking football and include you guys and have fun.
I want to throw this out there real quick. Eater mentioned before he wants to come up and watch a game with us and hang out with us.
Hell yeah.
When we all go to a game, anybody that wants to, just let us know you're coming up. We'll definitely hang out with you if we're going to the game.
That'd be sweet. And also, there was something we didn't talk about earlier, and maybe this one's going to go a little long, so whatever. But full capacity at the stadium, that's what they're going into this season with that mindset that it's going to be full capacity. If anybody's worried, I think all of us have our vaccination. Yeah? Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. So we're all clear, free and clear over here, man. 24/7 Buf Fandemonium is free and clear. But we have talked about possibly figuring out a game that we all want to go to or whatever, and talked about the possibility of a meetup or something like that.
Yeah.
So
We'll keep everyone.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Bills Mafia. Thanks, Fandemonium. We'll see you next Tuesday. Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills!
This is a dangerous group.